will talk about what is the possibility of that human global harmony. In yoga, we always talk about this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is a wonderful concept. That means the whole world is one family. Kutumba means family. Is it possible? If you look at in a single family itself, we know about the Saas Bahu ki kahani, all those things. We have difficulties in living together. And I guess that is the biggest challenge right now. So human beings are not designed to be quarantined like this. We have quarantined other animals in the cages of circus and other zoos and other places. But you have never seen human beings being confined like this. So it's a new thing for us. And if it goes beyond a limit, I think everybody would revolt. It's very, very difficult thing to live together in a clustered home with everybody looking at each other. Unless we are monks, it will be extremely difficult to, 24 hours just watching each other's eyes and dealing with the children, dealing with the spouses, dealing with the in-laws and outlaws. It will be very tough. So I hope this situation doesn't last for more than 1 or 2 weeks, hopefully, but the uncertainties are expanding day by day. So let's talk about the possibilities. The human minds are always outward looking. There is always me-centricness. Always we think about me, what's there for me, what's there for me. Me, myself, I, this is a very, very egocentric world that we live in. And we are responsible for that. And I have already talked about the mind plays this trick all the time. This is the game that we're playing, but we forget that we're playing the game and we actually become more serious about this, and that causes a lot of stress and worries in our life. If you take it as a game, it will have been wonderful, but we don't take it as a game, we take it very seriously. We feel that, I'm separated from everything. Although the universal concept is we are a part of the universe, but we are not apart from the universe. We always think that I want to be exclusive. That exclusivity kills us. And yoga fortunately talks about, you are exclusive in a way because the nature has designed you in a very unique way. But at the same time, you have to also practice inclusiveness. And that is where this concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam comes. Even though I am separate, I have got my own identity. Just like in a family, we are 3 brothers and 5 sisters. Each one of us have got, different attributes. But coming from my experience, I have seen that if a mother in a family is of good nature, truthful, honest, loving, kind, compassionate. I know most of the mothers are, but sometimes mothers play different roles. So if the mother's love is very binding, the family stay together. Whenever you see a very good-natured, angelic mother in any family, the families have a tendency of staying together for a longer time. There is less battle between brothers, sisters and sisters, less rivalry in between siblings, and the family stays for longer. And that is probably one of the way that why we talk so much about mother's love. We talk about Mother Nature, we talk about Mother Earth, we talk about Mother Universe. All this mother, because mother have a special quality to sustain life, to protect her children. That's why the universe has chosen the female species to be a mother who can, protect the child. That is why the universe is much more interested to sustain the female gender in any species, in any kingdom, animal kingdom, more than the male species. There are a lot of differences between the female biology and then the male biology. Female, emotional intelligence versus the male emotional intelligence. Not just the human beings, but in every species there is a difference, there is a subtle difference. They say men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So there are a lot of possibilities that we can inculcate this motherly nature as a global phenomena by appreciating the fact that mothers have special qualities of love, compassion, kindness, affection, potentially to enhance the possibility of a global harmony. And that is why in the yoga tradition also, when we do this prayer, pranashedam vase sarvam tridive yat pratishthitam mateva putrancha rakhyasva shrischa pragyascha videhi nadehi. That means in all 3 worlds, whatever that you can imagine in this universe, one thing, it controls everything, is the prana. Pranashedam vase sarvam. Everywhere what is established is the prana or the universal life force. So prana shedam vase sarvam tridive yat pratishtitam mateva putrancha rakhyasya. The mata eva, that means the only mother, knows how to protect her children. Putra means putra and kanya both together. It's just a symbolic. A mother knows how to protect her children. Exclusive way. Not the father, not the brother, not the grandfather. A mother species is chosen to specially care for the human babies, the human beings, everybody, not even the human. Mata means all, universal mother, all species included. So mateva putrancha rakhyasya srischa pragyascha videhina dehi. Sri means affluence, pragya means wisdom. So, O Mother Universe, please bestow us with universal resources, with the universal infinite wisdom, so that we can be a resource to take care of this planet, to take care of this universe, to take care of this life, and right now to take care of this pandemic, coronavirus. So friends, it's very, very important aspect to meditate upon the power of motherhood. That is why we practice this Pranashakti, love in the heart, to enhance the quality of the mother. In subsequent time, probably next week, I will also introduce a series of meditation that I have designed, which will invoke the mother's heart, your own mother's heart, and connect to all the mother's heart together, and then create a network of Pranashakti all around the globe, which will be a very powerful tool to help us overcome this battle. One more fact that I would like to talk about is mother is so special in terms of bringing the possibility of universal harmony. It's about every mother is connected. My mother is connected to her mother biologically, because without her mother, my mother would not have been born. And her mother, my grandma, is connected to her mother, my great-grandma. My great-grandma is connected to her mother, great-great-grandma. Isn't it? Biologically, the bloodstream has been flowing. So if you just stretch this imagination a little longer, maybe you can stretch for thousands of years, thousands of these generations, and mother to mother, the bloodstream has been flowing constantly, without any interruption. So the mother's network is very universal. It can lead to probably, at one point of time, if you all do the same exercise, you'll probably meet together with one mother. We all find our own origin or genesis of human beings into one womb. And in fact, that womb is called Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb of the universe. Because we, as a global consciousness, are not just limited to the human body. And sometime I'll talk about how many different species live in our own body itself. We have less human cells than alien cells in our body. Many, many more times. You won't even know, you can't even imagine how many colonies of things that is there in our own body. How much of time, probably, if you look at the age of those viruses, bacteria and biomes, they're like billions of years of age in your own body right now. Because of this continuity of the bloodstream that is happening from mother to mother for a millennia or more than that, for generations to generations. And that is why probably the yogis knew about this concept, and they talked about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world the whole universe is one family. We all are connected to each other. Not just human beings, every species. Like one of the analogies that I always give in my classes is like, if you think about your cell, your body has got 70 trillions of cells. A number that scientists have come up with, 70 trillions of cells. And now the biologists are talking about there are 10 times more biomes or the bacterial and viruses in your body. That means 700 trillions of bacteria and viruses in our body. Now think about 700 trillions is a big number. We've got only 7.8 billions of population of human beings in this planet. You think about that number versus 700 trillions of this. Probably that many species are there in the universe or more. Probably, I don't know what is the total population of the entire species in the entire universe. Probably more, maybe 21 to the power 21. Because in Atharva Veda, I have talked about this number of 7 and 3. So 3 and 7 multiplication, probably 21 to the power 21. I don't know what a number would come. But invariably, if you look at every cell in your body is a conscious cell. We start a journey with one tiny cell, and it becomes trillions of cells over a period of time, 9 months in our mother's womb. So now if you think about every cell in our body is a representation of the life. So we are a microcosm of the entire universe. Just like the universe has got different species, plants, animals, human beings, tigers, lizards, bats, all the wild animals and flowers and all the different things that you can think about. Everything could be also analogous to a cell in a universal body. So if you think about the universe as a whole body, we are also individual cells in that universal body. So I'm a cell, you are a cell, she's a cell, she's a cell. Everybody just a tiny cell. Because, it's very interesting. Like when you study quantum physics, quantum mechanics, it's so interesting. There is no difference between the smallest of the smallest particle and the biggest of the biggest particle. It all meets one. Through mother's unconditional love, we can possibly design a possibility of a global harmony. So when you think about our own mother and the network of mothers in the world, in the universe, and try to meditate for some time, probably we can design the possibility of a universal harmony where people can understand the concept of coexistence, cohabitation. That is why it is so important to teach these concepts of the Vedic wisdom to our children. I know there was a question today, is it a possibility that we should think about, our children going to a conventional school versus going to a Vedic school? Because both are, right now, whatever the Vedic schools that they are very rare, but they are also equally expensive. But I think at least they will have a better life. I've been thinking about that. Probably right now we have a graduation or we have a graded plan, like a step-by-step plan for that. Maybe the present economy, the present industrial evolution, the present mindset of the human being may not appreciate the concept right away because it has taken longer time human being has taken to see this expansive growth of the material world, objective world. It will take some time. But interim, meanwhile, if we can think about a online school, which I'm going to propose, to educate our children in our own homes, start with right away. Talk about this basic concept, the yogic psychology, the Vedic concepts of life, the universal harmony, all the Upanishads and Vedas, which gives the lifespan education. Because without understanding the subjective world, without understanding who we are, if we just learn about the objects in the world, without knowing our own self, is it a fulfilled life? No, right? You know everybody. You know everything. But at the end of the moment, you realize that I didn't know myself. So if you don't know yourself, what's the big deal of knowing everything else? So definitely we have to think about it. It's a serious matter. And then we must do that in our own capacity and create a network of these concepts in every family. Like they say, the charity begins at home. We can do that. So I'm going to propose a universal school where all the like-minded people who are connected to this talk, or even in the future, we'll probably do a network, and then every day for 1 or 2 hours, we will introduce a course of understanding this true nature of our own self. Where is happiness? How happiness happens? What is our mind? How our mind functions? What's our intelligence? What is that mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara? All the different concepts are so powerful